Welcome to TalkFCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys. And in today's video we are going to be doing something just a little bit different. What I'm going to be doing is answering your questions on the Barça related issues that you want addressing. What do you want to talk about in today's video? We are going to be finding out and getting my thoughts on a few things. So let's kick right off here with the questions, and my answers, guys, are going to be in detail. They're not going to be one-word answers. If you've asked a decent question, I will tell you in a bit of detail what I think. So starting here with, do you think that Griezmann will end up like Coutinho, with Valverde repeating the same mistake by playing him out of position? A very, very good question. And I have to say, that's a very valid question and a very fair comparison, because you look at the two players, you look at the two situations, they are near identical right now between Coutinho and Antoine Griezmann. Because you look at them side by side, Coutinho was brought in there for a fee that could reach 160 million euros, and Antoine Griezmann was a 120 million euro signing, all of that paid up front in its entirety. That there is two massive investments, huge signings, really, really big additions, and Coutinho, under Valverde, was played for the majority of his time at Barcelona out on the left-hand side, which is a position that he can play. It is possible there for Coutinho to play in that role, but it's certainly not the kind of role that's going to get the best out of him. He's not going to play his best football in that position, and that was clear from the word go. And here we are with Antoine Griezmann being stuck there in exactly the same position out on the left-hand side, instead of there playing in his natural role straight down the middle as the centre forward. And you can clearly see the situations are very, very similar. The only positive difference that I can see for Antoine Griezmann as opposed there to Coutinho is that at least Griezmann, with his preferred role, with his preferred position, at least that exists at Barcelona. And what I mean by that is, you think about Coutinho, you think about the role that he really excels in, the role that he always wanted at Barcelona, and that's actually the role that he has right now at Bayern Munich. Playing there in the number 10 role, two midfielders behind him, two wingers either side, and of course, somebody like Robert Lewandowski playing just ahead of him, and he's playing there in the 10 role. Now that position at Barcelona, that kind of role was never going to happen. Coutinho was never going to get that in our side, and when we signed him, I think we didn't bear that in mind. With Griezmann, though, at least his role does exist. There could be a time, hopefully sooner rather than later, whereby he goes into that centre-forward role instead of Suarez and plays there as the number 9. That's where he'd like to play, and at Barcelona, at least that role exists. Hopefully soon, we can actually see him in it, and actually see the huge quality that Griezmann has. Another excellent question here coming in, something away from the players and more in terms of managerial qualities. Do you honestly think that Xavi is suitable for the Barca job despite being inexperienced in coaching? And like I say, this is a good question, it's a valid question as well, but I would honestly say he's suitable. He is suitable for the Barcelona role, because you're absolutely right, Xavi is inexperienced. On a coaching level, this guy here has not managed really for very long at all in the first team setup. Right now, this season, it's the very first season that he's actually going to be coaching the first team at Al Sadd back in Qatar. And I think we'd all like, to be honest, Xavi to actually start in the youth levels at Barcelona. That would have been ideal, working his way up. But obviously, he wanted to go about things slightly different. And make no mistake about it, in management, experience is vital. I'm not writing off experience here. It's a hugely important part of managing a dressing room and actually conveying there your ideas to a team. And I think there was something like Xavi. You can, though, make exceptions. Just like there was an exception when it came to Pep Guardiola, for instance. He was appointed there as the Barcelona first team coach without ever managing at first team level before. All that Pep had was experience there in the youth levels at Barcelona, and it was a big step up there for the first team role, but it was a risk that was worth taking. And make no mistake about it, you look at the two people, Xavi Hernandez, Pep Guardiola, you can't ignore it. There are similarities, right from the role they played when they were players, right from the way they think about football, the way that Xavi really idolises Pep. He sees himself very much so as a student of Pep Guardiola. And because of Xavi, much like Pep, he may not have the experience initially, but from somebody there who grew up at the club, who knows the club inside out, he understands Barcelona, what it means to go out there and wear the Barcelona shirt. I'd imagine he'd gain that experience as a coach there at first team level pretty quickly. And somebody there, as intelligent as Xavi is, he'd be a very quick learner. But for me, the biggest thing with Barcelona as a coach has always been there about managing the dressing room, handling the egos, handling the big name players, getting the best out of them, and actually motivating that team and having them understand what you want from them. And with inexperienced coaches, controlling those big names is often their biggest challenge. Inexperienced coaches usually can't go into a dressing room and command it. But I feel, you look at Xavi, you imagine Xavi there stepping into that dressing room, he's going to command that respect immediately. As soon as he goes in there, you're going to be looking at him thinking, I want to learn, I want to do what he wants me to do. And I really do believe that. I do believe the players would respect Xavi, I do believe they'd listen to him, and ultimately, you'd look at him there, you'd want to learn from him. You would want to actually take on board his ideas, improve as a player, improve as a person, because for me, Xavi Hernandez, he is ready. He can become a coach here. And I was actually asked quite a few different questions from you guys about Ivan Rakitić, and I think that's very, very important actually to touch on that subject in its entirety. So we're going to go here with, do you think Rakitić should leave Barcelona? And I think, to be honest, when you look at Rakitić, I've got to say, when he was at Sevilla, I loved him. As a player, he was somebody away from Barcelona, away from the big teams, at Sevilla there, he was somebody you looked at and he was so exciting to watch. I still remember really, really clearly that wonderful back heel flick over Pepe when he gave that assist against Real Madrid and Sevilla went on to beat them. That was a massive game, a wonderful moment. Rakitić was brilliant to watch. And when he joined Barcelona under Luis Enrique, initially there, his impact was unbelievable. In that midfield, he was fantastic. He gave us a new dimension. He really re-energised that midfield. And I think there, he had a phenomenal season, capped, of course, by a goal in the Champions League final. And he deserved that. He really, really did. Played so many games, so much energy, so much quality on the ball as well. He was fearless going forward. But I honestly think that since that season, the huge heights there of that first season, season upon season, slowly but surely, he has been declining. Steadily, it's not been a drastic dip. There's still been good moments from Rakitic. He's still somebody who can provide quality. He can score an outrageous goal. We all know about that. But he is somebody who was coming to the end of his time at Barcelona, and that was becoming, as the games went on, increasingly clear. And I think this summer, it was the best chance for him to actually say, yeah, I came here, I conquered, I won the Champions League, won the treble, a big part of that he was. But he could have left this summer with his head held high. With De Jong coming in, we all knew, and Rakitic would have known too, that he wasn't going to play as much as he would have liked. Clearly, that was going to be the case. And that's why, for me, this summer, he should have accepted one of those many offers that he had that came his way, and he could have left, like I say, with his head held high. And I think then, we would have all appreciated him. We would have all said, look, you've been fantastic. You came in, you did really, really well. We've got to respect you there as a Champions League winner. And he could have gone on there, played in Italy, played in England at the very top level, a top club, and he can still make it at the top level. Don't make any mistake about that. Rakitic could still really impress at Inter Milan or Man United. He really, really could. And it's a shame that he didn't leave, because I think now he's actually stuck on the bench. He's not playing. We're casting him out. It shouldn't really be like that. But Rakitic should have taken it upon himself this summer to say, yeah, the time is right now to leave Barcelona. It didn't need to come to this. It really, really didn't. And I hope that in the end, in January, Barcelona once again are going to try and force him out. They're going to try and make him leave. Will Rakitic accept that? And I just hope that at the end of it all, he makes a good decision there for his career ahead of the Euro. He doesn't want to be stuck on the bench. He wants to go out and play. Make that move now for your career. We'll appreciate you. And ultimately, we'll wish you the very, very best in your new venture. And the final question here from you guys, one here from Theo, and it is a difficult but good question that he's asked. How many years at a good level do you feel Messi has left? And I think that's a question that deep down we all do think about. You've got to put your hand on your heart and you've got to say, yeah, I do think at times about when Messi isn't around in that Barcelona team, and at the same time, it's never, ever a nice feeling. Because the reality is, Lionel Messi right now is 32 years old. He's not getting any younger. This season, of course, very recently, we've seen him pick up more and more injury problems, and that's heartbreaking. It's really disappointing and so saddening to see Messi missing games when he's 32 years old. You want to see him out there making the absolute most, seeing him at all times, but we know that it's not possible that he can play every game anymore. But when all's said and done, remember this. Messi has never relied upon physical attributes to be the best player in the world. He's never ever relied upon pace or power or strength or fitness. He's never been a player there that's been all about the physical side. It's all about the mental mental. It's all about what's going on there in his football brain. He's got an incredible footballing understanding of what goes on the pitch. He's got a natural instinct. He's got the ability there to win a game with either a great goal, but it's not just about goals. He can provide an assist as well, a key pass, a little dribble. Messi can do it all, and that's always been the beauty of him. He's not reliant on one specific attribute there to keep him going. So for that reason, I do believe that for many years to come, we are still going to be seeing Messi, maybe in different types of roles. Maybe as the years go on, he may drop back. We've heard that now for a few years, but he still remains very much so in the forward line. So we're going to have to wait and see. At the end of the day, it's all going to be about Messi, how he feels in his body, how he wants to continue. I feel like he will be somebody who wants to leave at the top. He won't want to sort of drag us down or be in the team just because of his name. He'll only remain at Barcelona and only want to remain in that team if he feels like he can give his maximum. But I see him around here for another 4, maybe 5 years, maybe even beyond that, you don't know. But I think at least 4 years, Messi here, 36 years old, he can still provide match-winning moments, match-winning quality. Because of course, this man, he's the greatest. So that there, guys, brings us to an end in today's video. It is something completely different that I wanted to try today, quite simply because I do like answering your thoughts, and I do often get bogged down, of course, with the latest news, the match previews, the match reviews, but quite honestly, sometimes it's quite nice to sit back and say, look, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And actually answer and give you guys some thoughts. And at the same time, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think about these issues? And if you have any other questions that you do want me to answer in a different video, I would certainly like to do this a lot more often. So let me know in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed this. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.